saying things about me that were damaging. So then this person is going to have an opinion of me, but I really do think her behavior towards me was racist. I really do, and you know, I would like to say that there was a lady who worked in that office as well. I don't remember her name. I want to call her Katie, but that wasn't her name. It wasn't her name. Anyway, she was, a lady who I would compare her to a white version of me, meaning she was somebody who dressed nice, okay? She was somebody, she wore her hair down. I did notice that she did have a little makeup on or whatever. Everyone interacted well with this particular person, but I was singled out in that particular office to be treated like garbage, so and this is the shit that goes on. Okay, so the thing is, here's the story. Okay, the story is that I came here by myself with the goal of taking care of my son, to raise my son, get a job, blah, 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 blah. I never asked these people for their intrusion. So they have their personal opinions. They want to play games. They want to have these extreme competitive sport type games where they get together with other people to make me the center of their abuses, is basically what it is. So, and this is the only fucking reason why this shit even happened, or, is going on or whatever. So, they get this little cult group, or like when I say cult, this clan of different people who are unified in one purpose, which is to like mess with me and continually haggle me. And so, anyway, and so I don't owe you any compromise. Do you understand? It's like, I don't owe you well, let's make a deal type thing, because I never asked you to be a part of my life goal anyway. You're the one who continually, completely uninvited, came in and started throwing wrenches and shit into my fucking path to make the most humblest, of living. And then when we are done talking about this and I've proven my point, stated my case, okay, then you want to sit there and try to like negotiate. Well, we'll go ahead and get you something else, but we're going to ask you to, wear dresses, or, I don't know what else. Go to our church or some bullshit. And it seems like it's always like that, And what I'm dealing with tyrants, and I'm not saying that job was, deliberately like that. Like I've worked for a company one time where she was an older lady, okay? I think maybe 20, 30 years older than me. She grew up from that time period where dresses were the thing, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? There's nothing wrong with wearing dresses, okay? I personally grew up preferring pants. Okay, I just like pants. Pants to me are far more comfortable than dresses. Okay, but I will wear them. Obviously, I have them in my closet, but I don't have anything nice enough for like what I consider an office office type dress. Okay, I have some sundresses. Those aren't you can wear sundresses when things get a little laxed after the interview. You know how you start. You go to the interview and then you find out it could be a little bit more lax in your whatever. You can wear stuff like that, okay, if you want to. But like the job interview, it should be a nice day dress, office type dress, whatever. It shouldn't be strappy. It shouldn't be, it needs to be, what do you call it? Professional. Yeah, professional. So anyway, it's not that. It's just that, the whole thing, okay, the reason why I have these issues when I'm driving, or I go through these anxiety attacks, is because the environment of the established environment of these people, like whether it be a workplace or a job interview that I'm going to, that they're setting up, always has some sort of bullying, what do you call it? Some form of bullying in there, and it's bullying, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with, like, for example, what is this particular company that they may not even be associated with my family, okay, my ex-family, but what if this particular company, they just, when customers come in, okay, I don't know if customers actually come into this particular business, but if customers start to come in, right, they want to see a professional environment. If I owned a company, I would want a professional environment, okay, depending on what kind of business I'm running, okay? Like if I'm running a family-owned business, I think I'd want maybe enough people from different generations and stuff like that to be able to communicate with this whole wide spectrum of people that you'd have to service, okay? But like if you have a professional type company where like you're talking about somebody's finances or something, I would prefer, it would be people dressed professional and polished and professional. If I was having like a record company, or which they don't have those anymore, tattoo shop, something like that, then I'm going to pick a completely different person for that. The kind of image that is okay, that's acceptable, that you can actually see in that particular position. So it's not about me, it's not me being like petty or anything like that, or whatever. It's just that, I've had so many abuses at different job interviews and different companies that you can't expect me to like be all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about every job interview that I go to now, because you become desensitized, or you become sensitized in a sense of where you it's a trigger into more trauma. Do you understand? So and then you're desensitized in a sense where you're like, because looking for work in the past when I was younger, like, and I didn't understand how weird shit really is, it was an exciting thing. I loved going to the interview. I would practice my interview the night before. I remember like, thinking, okay, I'm going to wear this and I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have my notebook. And I was like I loved everything that was work related. Everything. It was exciting for me. I was like, I was one of those people. I just wanted to go out there and do it, Always excited to get a call back. I didn't have a problem following up on things. I really liked the whole process. And then the very first day at work and so on and so forth. I loved it. Okay. But I've dealt with a lot of shit. Okay. A lot of shit. Shit that a lot of people, they don't sit here and understand why somebody would be traumatized in the manner that I am, right? Because usually they are on the other end of it, creating the trauma in the other person's life. Okay? It is traumatizing losing jobs. It is traumatizing working your ass off only to be put in a place of isolation, being dehumanized, being told what you can do like you're a fucking child, like you're, not, a fucking adult. Somebody imposing their religious views on you, telling you how you're supposed to live, what you're supposed to think, how you're supposed to. That is wrong, especially when you think of it from a racial aspect. So, everything that I experienced created a big issue. It was traumatizing. Okay, but everything that these people do, and they feel like, well, we'll go ahead and make a deal. We'll negotiate with you, right? They want to sit there and negotiate an agreement that I never consented to be a part of in any way, shape, or form. So then they want you to make concessions. Okay, well, like I said, we can get you another job, but we want you to wear dresses. And then we're going to have some weird person coming around with their religious bullshit, trying to convert you or something. I don't want drama. Okay? It's your drama that has created where I'm in this position that I'm in right now. The very fact that I have a hard time, getting behind the wheel. You want me to get behind the wheel of a car to go to a fucking distance or a fucking job interview that is set up to traumatize me further, to abuse me further. If not then somewhere down the line. Okay, I'm done. I don't want any more fucking drama. I didn't ask for it. Okay? Never do I ever recall like saying, I want you guys to be a part of my fucking dream. It wasn't about being selfish. It was like, this is what I need to do. I need to stay motivated. I tried to do as much as I possibly could based on what I had. Okay? Based on what I had. And I never recall asking anyone for anything. And yeah, I do. I truly do believe that I would have been successful. Not like, fucking wealthy or anything like that. But I would have been somebody who had a consistent form of income continuously. And before you sit there and say that's not true, I remember the girl that I used to know back in the 90s who looked a lot like me, that we had a lot in common, okay? Meaning she liked her clothes, she liked her shit. We meshed in that way, okay? She did a lot of bookkeeping in the Los Angeles area, okay? For a lot of different little businesses, okay? And she made a decent income. Plus, she also had a little side job working at an insurance company. So, this is not true, okay? You guys have been a fucking nightmare. You've just caused me nothing but fucking problems, okay? I would have been fine. And before you start throwing in, well, what about your bachelor's degree? You know what? She didn't have one either. There's a bunch of people who didn't have that. There, like I said, there are people who they just established themselves throughout the years as bookkeepers. That's what they do. There's people who've been bookkeeping since they were in high school. This is the truth. It is the 100% truth. There's a bunch of people who are like that. Okay, you believe that everybody can only do it this way. You can only be a CPA if you. That's true. You have to be a CPA. You have to go through college. You do. You do. And I know that a lot of people are encouraging bachelor's degrees nowadays, and I'll tell you why. Because the colleges are telling and convincing people that this is what you need to do. There's a lot of jobs right now that did not require a degree, but they do nowadays. Okay. They do nowadays. Why? Because colleges are in the business of making money. Okay, and it doesn't make you smarter. It doesn't give you more knowledge. I mean, I will say there's a lot of things out there that I don't know. Okay, especially since I'm an older person and there's a lot of shit going on right now. But I will say that college does not make a person well-rounded. It does not help them make better decisions. No matter, even if they take classes like, what is that, critical thinking. Okay, and I remember having a discussion with this one girl about critical thinking. I don't think critical thinking is something that you can learn. Critical thinking is something that you either possess, or that's it. You can study like how or try to make steps to critically think. But in an instant like this, spontaneously, people don't think critically. They don't weigh out the issues. They don't sit there and really analyze things. Okay, and this is obvious. Okay, this is a great social experiment. What happened to me right here? This is a wonderful social experiment. Okay, it's like, why didn't all these educated people recognize this shit for what it was? Okay, why didn't people recognize that they were deep down inside, they were people who were hypocrites, religious hypocrites, that deep down inside they were bigots, that deep down inside, that you can obviously tell, okay, that what knowledge-wise, is not necessarily what gets you where you are. Okay? There is so much to look at this issue. And all these so-called educated people aren't worth the dime. Now, I'm not, so I understand. But what I felt as though you were doing was you were continually nitpicking me to the point of where you wanted to find anything to keep me out of doing what I want to do, only because I was a scapegoat. Like there's some sort of competition in your mind where I have to beat her. I have to make sure that I win by hurting her. This is your game. This is your sick mental game. Okay? And it's been going on for a very long time, and I've been fucking suffering over it. All right? I have the right to live my life the way that I want to. And I shouldn't have to sit here and fear job interviews or, deal with, I would consider that cyber stalking. Is that what they call it? When you fucking do shit online, or you create traumatizing issues, or you bully people online. When you see these job ads, with these bullshit stuff, that's fucking abusive, and it is. Okay. But anyway, so, back to the old drawing board or whatever, because this is my attitude at this point. It's like, I don't fucking know what to do anymore. And I honestly don't know what to think either. It's like, what I've seen is like, I honestly cannot change my mindset on how I see this, because I feel as though I've been raped multiple times. Okay? And the only reason why you guys are pissed off is because I'm smart enough to recognize that. Okay? Because you were hoping that I was dumb. You were hoping that I didn't have the intellectual ability to figure out that I've been manipulated and my life has been like completely filled with all kinds of ridiculous abuses. You know, so that just, it does, it shows me and proves to me what people really think of people who have mental issues. Now, I don't have mental issues, okay, but it was must have been believed, foolishly believed, that I did. Okay, why? Because if she's not like us, therefore something is wrong with her. So if something's wrong with her, let's not really do anything to help her, but let's make fun of her, and let's bring other people in to make fun of her too. You know, how low can you be? Okay, so don't sit here and expect me to have respect for you. Okay, I'm going to spit on you multiple times. And don't expect me to sit here and, like, you know, go into job interviews to be fucking harassed, because that's what it is. I understand that, you know, bullying is a part of our culture, and it is a part of our culture. Okay, that's why the word polite, being professional, knowing your manners, this is why people have to do this shit all the time. Okay, it's what you do in order to get along. Okay, but there's so many malicious people in the world, and so many of that religious bullshit. Don't ever fucking throw your religion on me, ever. Ever. Is wearing a dress somehow supposed to make me some more? Is that what it is? About we're going to slowly bring her try to brainwash her, condition her, so that she's going to accept this bullshit? I'm not going to accept your bullshit. Okay? Like I said, you either feel God in your heart, you either feel it here internally to where it's really, truly sincere, or what you're doing is mark of the beast shit. Like, so I can't even fucking tell you. It's fucking demonic. Okay, anytime somebody comes into this earthly plane offering you parts of the worldly kingdom, okay, parts of the worldly kingdom, which means like being a part of the system, like whether that's directly money or even a position or a title or whatever, you're going to offer this, right? These things belong to Satan. They do. They belong to, what do you call it? The darker forces, okay? The Bible even says so. All right, and then you're going to try to put pressure, spiritual pressure, pose an ultimatum with a consequence. Okay, do you know what kind of stuff this is talking about? This is the kind of shit that the Bible fucking talked about. That this is the only, Jesus never posed ultimatums. You know why? You know why? Because there was a certain time where you were going to be judged. Whether that be at the moment of death, whether that be the day of Armageddon, or whatever. Who knows? That's never been very well defined, okay? But here on the earth, this is what you hear. You accept it, but it's not my responsibility to beat you down because you don't accept it. What you're offering me, you're like a demon coming out. You're like a fucking demon fucking flittering around and basically tempting me. And then asking me to sacrifice my soul. Okay, you either do this or you're just out in the cold. On a spiritual level, the only people who do that in the Bible are the demonic. The devil. That is the only person who puts those kind of ultimatums out there. Okay, do not ever play those kind of spiritual games, okay, because it's wrong. It's wrong. And I'm angry about it, okay? Because I have a right to go on with my life. I don't want to be a part of the fucking family. Now, you know, when I was growing up, I felt love towards these people because I didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. You know? I thought I loved them. They loved me. I would never want to see them hurt. You know? But these people fucking, this is how they built their fucking legacy. The reason why they have friends is because they use me as a center focal point to bully. And they get more and more people involved in this whole fucking thing of let's fucking nitpick Maria apart. This is how they get their fucking name known. Okay? If something happened to me, their fucking reputation would fucking crawl. Okay? Because their whole world is built around fucking my shit up. For laughs. For their own fucking entertainment. So I don't want to hear about your bullshit. We'll negotiate with you if you do this. I'd never fucking asked your shit. Here's the thing. You created this blow up. Not just here. You had created it everywhere. All right? So don't sit here and try to make it sound like I'm supposed to sit here and make concessions or change or do this in order for this to be this particular outcome. You didn't belong in my shit in the first place. And in order to fix this issue, you're the one who created it over and over and over again. And don't sit here and say, well, it was because, you wear shoes to work, or you changed your outfit. Let me tell you something I have every right to, number one. But number two, do you honestly think that your reasons are valid? Do you understand that when everything that you say and for everything that you persecute me for makes you sound very petty and almost kind of like you're doing this out of jealousy? Because it kind of sounds that way. I mean, I can't understand any other reason. And I don't like to think that. I don't. I don't love my family, my ex-family. I don't. I have one child that I recognize as family. I don't care about these people. Okay? You can't expect me to. After this sort of abuse. And it is abuse. And it's continual. It's continual abuse. Like I said, this is how bad the relationship is. Like, if they know that they had no right to do what they did, they had no right to sit here and try to make deals with me or anything like this. And then, when I've gotten to the point of being broken, and I am seriously, I've had to pick myself off the floor a few times, till you've gotten to the point where you are completely, your mind has completely been annihilated, okay? Everything in you has just completely died. They want to come back and sit there and play nitpick bullshit games. I mean, they just kind of throw little bit elements of our fucking, ideas and shit. I don't admire your shit. Okay? There is nothing worth emulating in any of you. I don't like your mindset. It's your mindset that creates all this evil in the world. And it's evil. It is exactly the stuff that wars are made out of. And you decided to launch a war on one person when they didn't ask for it. I know I did stupid things in the past. We all do. Okay? But I know I've been being bullied since I was a kid. Way before I got into the deep down heart of my ridiculous bullshit. You know what I mean? That, to me, when at the end of the day, it's just like, well, it's young people, whatever. People do stupid shit when they're younger. But still, it's always been bullshit. And it's like this. My ex-family, ignorant. They're ignorant. Okay? It is an ignorant bunch of people who, allow the mother, gets around the children and creates sides. Little spies and reward system programs, to basically conspire against one other kid. Okay? First of all, a mother should never do that. Okay? I understand people do have their favorites. They may not verbalize it. They do have their favorites. But you don't play those sort of emotional games. It's your responsibility of somebody who brings a person into this world to not govern them that way. And I'm not saying, all families are dysfunctional. They all are. I mean, there's no perfect family. I mean, I know that. Okay, I know that. But, I think there's certain things that are wrong, okay? And there are certain things that people do that are wrong. And they should think about it, a little bit more before they do those sort of things, because it creates a lot of psychological problems in the child. So anyway, yeah, my life would have been better had I not been in that family. It's really fucking unfortunate, Really, really unfortunate. But, you know, shit happens, right? Anyway, I wanted to voice that and get it out, you know, and, you know, I'd like to find a job, but I can't. I'm tapped out emotionally, everything. I can't I can't get into shit where there's this bullshit all the time. You know, it's unnecessary. And I know you guys, just because you guys are filled with venom, and you obviously feel like everything is an issue, or you always want to fight, or you always want to like prove this, or you always want, it's in you to be this way, okay? But that has to be, those kind of games have to be mutual. They have to, the other person has to be an active participant. I don't want to participate in shit like that. Okay? What you're doing is childish and it's stupid. You know what I mean? It's unwarranted and it needs to stop. Okay? I mean, I really don't want to have to feel your presence ever again. I don't know how you work those things, how, like, you know, you arrange jobs, but I don't want to feel it. I don't. I don't want one stupid person, you know, and it's not me being petty. It's not, okay? I understand people look at what people eat at their desk to a certain degree. You're walking by, you see your friend or the person that you work with, you know, they're sitting here eating some popcorn, and, you know, you're like, oh, you have popcorn, whatever, and that's fine. You walk on, right? But when people get out of their chair from it completely, you don't know them very well, they're sitting here. I remember when I was over at Organized Sports, you know, she was sitting here looking what I was eating, and it's like, and I think they were trying to speculate. Yeah, you know, I do. I do eat healthier type foods, okay? But I'm not a health buff. Like, I don't sit here and like go to the gym. I don't do all this. I don't do that stuff. I don't. Okay, but I grew up eating chocolate for breakfast. I grew up eating Hostess Twinkies and shit like that, which I don't care for anymore. I just don't. I don't like soda pop. Like, I used to love soda. I used to like, you know, I used to drink an ice cold Coca-Cola. I used to love, especially in high school, I would love to have an ice cold Coca-Cola before I went to bed. You know, even though it was caffeine, just drinking that was like make me all tingly inside, and then I would go to bed and sleep, you know, and then I'd wake up the next morning and cram more junk, and that was how it was. You know, then by the time I was in my mid-20s, it's like I'd come home and my legs were swollen, my legs, everything hurt, and I just hated it. I didn't like it. So I changed it. Okay? But even people who don't necessarily care about what they eat, I've seen them eat apples and stuff like that. You know, and what is it that you're speculating? And you're speculating, and your gossip and your storytelling and all this other shit has gotten way out of control. Okay, now it's gotten me to the point where I'm sitting here, you know, fighting for my life and these stupid, you know, debates that are stupid. Okay, it's your fault. Okay, because you believe that other people are supposed to see the world through your eyes, and this is how you have a certain worldview. You know, this is the kind of, you're a dictator. You know, of all the people in this world, you know, it's like you look at all these people like, you know, Stalin or whatever. You think that your way is right, and then you want to impose your shit, and then you want to give out severe consequences. And then on the spiritual level, it's like, I feel that this shit is like right up there with the mark of the beast. Okay, those sort of ultimatums have only been posed by the devil throughout the Bible. Now, the Bible warns, you know, that there's going to be consequences for not following things, whatever. I understand that, okay? But there's not like this, on this earthly plane, you have to do this, 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 and this, and this, or we're going to, you know, execute you, kill you, blah, blah. And I know people have, like, you know, religious wars have happened, you know, like, for example, the Inquisition or whatever, where people ended up losing their life. But I don't believe these people were truly people of God. They were using God as an excuse to abuse things, to abuse people. It's a misuse of abuse. I mean, a misuse of power, you know, and it's wrong, you know. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I just wanted to get that out. So I will be back with another video some other time later. Take care. Bye-bye.